When I started my commentary on the Image Nation, or the last few sound clips that I've made over the time, I've started to ponder on more things. Now today, I'm letting you hear the background of my surroundings because I feel we need to incorporate these things. It's who we are. So you are automatically exposed to my immediate environment. And I found that there's a lot of things that seem to appear in the realm of artificial introduction, via it be through fear videos or clips or commentary, or through exposing the antics of certain people who's now owning Twitter, etc., etc., and etc. The most important proponent of everything, when you do become, let's say, wrapped up in understanding or trying to understand the dynamics of the artificial intelligent industry in itself, aside from telling you that it's military based. We obviously know that. I don't feel it's important to bring that into context of what I'm busy saying to you. When I started to do these audios, I found that as I was speaking about it and sharing it with you and looking at your commentary, and I wanted to share with you that this world is very unlike the way that it appears to be at all times. I know I've been saying that. It doesn't appear as how you see it. All you get from the world in itself are small snippets, or perhaps fractal parts. These fractal parts, or tidbits, or clips, or however you want to describe it, are really all just parts of what is being sold for you, to you, even if it's done through fear, even if it's done through trying to expose it. There are ways to expose information, events and things. There are ways to do it without dragging everyone into your fear paradigm. If you're the person that is exposing the realm for what it is, you're going to have to go through quite a lot of work internally before you can actually even share that. Which is why I wanted to say, this may sound arrogant, but my channel, I've managed to share the information without drawing you into any fear paradigm. All that I've done was to expose things on an objective, observational perspective, which is most likely why the channel itself is still as unique as it's always been, and will always be unique. And so it's very important to share the aspects in such a way that you are able to share, where you can discuss things. You can discuss it in an objective way, minus the fear, of course. You can tell what you want to tell to everyone if you're able to be objective in yourself first. Because as you know, the most important thing that takes place is when you speak about something, and you share that information, that your energy frequency radiates outward to a person that hears it. which is why you need to be mindful how you share things, how you speak about things, because many people in the world who are perhaps already in a space of unsure of themselves or insecure or perhaps wounded or hurt are triggered by these specific experiences or events. Some people that broadcast information to be the first one on the scene type of thing and to report to you the as is where and what event is at times quite dangerous, because what you hear and see from them is only their perspective of their experience at that moment, which takes us back to becoming mindful and aware that this world is in the shape of an eye, metaphorically speaking. This is not a discussion about flat earth, disc earth, toroidal earth, square earth, whatever you want to call it. Crater earth, I believe that's the latest one. It's got nothing to do with how you sell that point. It's got everything to do with your intention in how you share information. And if you share with the intention to drive fear, then you will contribute to that specific thing that you are propagating or talking about. And that is how propaganda starts. Even if it is something that perhaps has happened, there are many, many ways to do it in a different way. This world is constantly being created. We are in a continuous infinite cycle of creation, as I've said. Even if it is seeding consciousness with whatever propaganda has being spread around. And literally the frequency of how one speaks about something within determines how that specific seed will be accepted. Will it be rejected or will it be accepted? This is the information age. This is also the age of flawed idealism. Because with the flawed idealism, we are seeing many, many histrionic behavioral patterns. And I'll explain to you what histrionic means. Histrionic means attention-seeking and bold impressions constantly in your face. Money, wealth, triggers, trappings. Services, loud in your face. Constantly driving and explaining and in an exploitive manner. Much like a billboard. And so you have to understand that with these particular energies or expressions or psychological system or symptom, it goes along with a very strong pathological pattern of narcissism, which is obviously very much a disorder that comes as a result from the system, where bad behavior is and uncivil behavior is really acceptable, and that it's okay for you to just basically create your own TV channel type of thing. I'm talking about the emotional, spiritual, psychosomatic influences or frequencies, if you want to look at it in metaphysical perspective or a psychological perspective of the system itself. This is why I've posted a video a while ago on an inverted Gnostic paradigm, because that is basically how it is. It's not vilifying the context of ideologies. It is about vilifying how ideals are broadcasted outward. If your intention is to broadcast information out with the agenda to drive traffic to you, to drive people to you, or to drive people into a particular belief system, then your material will be fear-driven. Your material will be exciting. And exciting does not necessarily mean good or positive or whatever. It just depends on how the person that receives it experiences it. I want to say thank you for you coming on and joining and supporting this process. It tells me that many seek to find the original uniqueness of themselves, your authenticity of who you are. And by doing this, you will explore through all of the videos that I've posted over the years. And these videos are all basically a reflection of my experiences personally, which I then explain in a metaphorical, metaphysical perspective as best as it's possibly to do. My point that I want to make about what this audio is about is to explain to you that if you are aware that the realm that we are existing in is a realm of constant creative influences. Creative in the sense of, if you wish upon a star and your wish comes true type of thing, as a random thought there. But also, if you work on certain things and you know that the system is hyper creative at this moment in time, that it will come true. Because if your intention is to do whatever it is, as I've said, that is what will happen. You will literally contribute and create to the realm dynamics of others, depending on where you place yourself. If another idea, another aspect. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again, and I have a good friend of mine reminds me often of Don Quixote, who went to slay the windmills, but in actuality had to slay the windmills of the heart. An internal battle that was projected outward. And very similar to the Don Quixote system, because I want to call it that. The system itself is man-made. It is not God-made, it is man-made, it is idealistically built on ideals, on events, on psychotropic influences, inflictions, and it is sick because it seeks to make people sick. Now, understand this very well. When I say that it is sick and it tries to make people sick, I'm not saying stop working. I'm not saying stop doing what you're doing. I'm not saying anything of this nature. I'm saying be mindful that this age, as it is right now, is undergoing a type of system change. Now we are in the middle of this process. We're in the middle of the actuality or understanding or realization that it is beyond abnormal for things to happen the way that they do. When you are observing from the outside inward, and when I place myself in that position, I say that I am within myself and I'm observing into the system without being controlled by it. You live in the system. You have the choice to be controlled by it or not. Your surroundings around you are important to you because it keeps you dry, keeps you warm, and some people do not have those, and they have other ways to define themselves in the system. Where you are from within you are. Observe how the reality operates, or this system operates. It is multi-layered in itself. It is like a layered cake. And these layers, or membranes that fold over an organic world, which is based on creation and life and death, is seen as as an enemy, as something that is evil. When nature is being portrayed as evil or vilified or in distress, these ideals, are ideologies, propaganda that are spread around to make you feel that you do not have a choice. You know that you are being duped into something when there is absolutely zero choice after you hear or are exposed to that intention or that idea. If you have a choice, the choice is coming to you naturally, and you know that you are not in a place that is making you feel cornered. If I have to give you a diagram, I will describe it to you. So as you are in your immediate environment, you are going within yourself and you are connecting with your heart and your higher consciousness, and you're connecting and having a communion with the great creator, or the original creator, the one that is beyond the systems. And how you perceive the system is perceived through a screen. The screen is illuminated because light, illumination, is a frequency and seeks you to be within it. And as you are, and your participation in it is via visual and all the senses, which are 5 senses in the system. However, we have many more senses that are very much more subtle. And as you perceive this image, the screen, it can have the appearance of your perceived reality. And around it is light, as I said, illumination, and illumination requires and light requires you to see what you're experiencing. And now remember, now they pigeonhole or give you only fractals of it, televised. And as you're perceiving it, there is an instrument or a mechanism which I call the Metatronic element, or a Metatronic cube. The David star, if you flatten it, is similar to that image. This is not against Jewish religion at all. This is just pure alchemical description of a symbol of itself. And as you perceive this image, you are required to interact with the Metatronic element, which is a mechanism, as I've said long time ago, that is a creative machine, a creation machine. No, it's definitely not D-Wave at all. It's not a supercomputer. It's much more than man-made objects. It is an element that is comprised out of light bent in a particular way so that it presents itself in that way. And you then perceive, because perception is your engagement with the luminosity of the system. And so you're looking at everything through that lens. Now, it's not based on religion, it is based on all things that you perceive or that is controlling your consciousness. How do you break free from that focus, through that lens, through that crystal, that thing that is crystallizing your consciousness to go into the luminosity of the system itself? You simply avert yourself away from all beliefs in terms of the fact that the system is controlling you. That is how it works. You have to work very hard on yourself to be out of that control grasp. And then you're able to perceive things from the outside in a way that you are unaffected, but you will need to be absolutely balanced within your heart at all times. I am doing daily inner work to connect with in myself and to to a higher consciousness, which I call Great Spirit, or you may call God. It doesn't matter. It is irrelevant of the name, of the title. However, I am communicating in commune with this being, this higher presence. And as I am in constant communication with this higher presence or creator or great spirit, I know that what is happening around me is happening because it's playing out, because it needs my eyes, my sight to see it, for it to play out. Now there's imminent danger constantly spread around by people on groups that it's the end of the world, blah, 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 blah. And you don't have a choice. We've come to the end of our rope. And nothing else after that, of course. And then the next day it's just as if everyone's got ADD or loss of memory, or what you said yesterday is definitely not what you're saying today, because today we're planting flowers. It is insane. That is histrionic. That is a histrionic behavior. Okay. And if I key into that histrionic behavior by thinking, oh my God, I better spread that information to others. They need to know that we're going to get implanted with Neuralink, and it's going to destroy ourselves, and it's going to be like a needle in my brain, and blah, 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 and I'm going to be dead, and oh no, I'm going to be a robot, and I'm going to be turning into a Borg. I'm not saying it's false. I'm saying it is spread around like that. It doesn't matter how scientifically it was researched to make you see how accurate this person is with their information, because really this person might be struggling to try and drive traffic to his site, or he's just getting off on the thrill of spreading the information. Best is if they throw Bible verses into it, which I see is quite predominant lately. There's this big fear, and every person that may have given up on Christianity has now suddenly become a Christian again, quickly. Because if I die, or if the robots come and get me, or the aliens come and get me, or if demons come and get me, then, at least if I say Jesus or God, the words, then I'll be fine. Type of thing. And that is histrionic. That is narcissistic. These are symptoms of the system. These are fractured patterns of behavior in people. So no wonder things are the way that they are. Because that was exactly what these ministers of malice wanted to create. They want to have total self-destruction. If they actually had to physically put their hands in, or be physically involved in really taking a life, then they would be in trouble. That's why they get people to do it to each other. There's easier way to not be involved in the committing of the crime itself, the crime of passion. And so these wormholes are literally wormholes. That's all they are. Now you're looking at politics, for example. Did you know that so-and-so and XYZ really are the same party, And XYZ and so will be having to vote against one another so that you must decide who is X, Y, and who is Z, and who is Y, and who is who in the zoo. And even that is a distraction in itself. I'm not saying stop voting, none of that at all. You can vote. You can do what you want. You have free will. You have choice. It's how you do it. It's how you do it in the system. It's how you manage to do it in the system. Run with everyone or walk with a sound mind and a sound heart and an open consciousness to be mindful that if you say anything, if you mention anything in any particular destructive way, that your emotional energy contributes to the chaotic frequency. This system is meant to be this way right now. This is, after all, supposed to happen. So why stand in the way of all of its attributes? And let me explain why I'm saying that, because I'm definitely not saying be a salmon and swim upstream and, kick out. I'm saying if you're aware that the system will behave a particular way, research histrionic behavior, research narcissism, research these patterned behaviors, understand it. Imagine yourself to be a psychologist or an investigator or an analyst. Adopt that energy, adopt that frequency, because you have a healthy mind to research things. And then you will understand and you will see how things are played out now. They are trying to push people to tip over themselves, to submit and to subject to things, frequencies. The stronger your connection is to your heart, to your inner thoughts, to the connection to an original creator being, any name you want to think for it. And your communication and communion is living, alive, meaning you do get reciprocation, because it does happen. The stronger that connection is, the easier it is for you to parry through the waters of the system itself, the muddy waters, and crystal clear rainbow unicorn fluff waters, whatever. In a nutshell, the world that you are existing in has its organic part to it, the life part, where it's raining, where the sun is shining, where animals come to drink at the water, where you plant seeds and you have vegetables come from it. These things are all there for you to nourish your physical form. But you have to use the same application to nourish your internal, eternal form inside of you. That is the one thing that will always stand with you. That is a law unto itself. The system in itself requires a certain percentage of you to offer energy so that you are still within it, so that you are able to generate an income or to be of service to others or be of service to yourself, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I work with people, so I am in the services. That is what I do every day. But at the end of the day and throughout the day, I am always, always aware where I stand in relation to its actions and what it seeks. So what I'm trying to say is that right now, this age, this flawed, idealistic age, is flawed. It's meant to be flawed. It's meant to collapse upon itself. It will take a long time before it's fully collapsed. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen. Stories these days where they say, uh, you know, let's all transition to 5D bullshit. That is not possible. Okay, you are multidimensional within yourself. You are an ordered structure. You are a whole being. Okay, you are in perception to everything and everything inside of you, within you, not outside of yourself with everything else. That is a very, very important thing to remember. Understand it correctly. Don't buy into new age bullshit, because that is all it is. Its main focus is to drive you into a fractured state where you basically become absurdist, where you believe in no things and you are eternally, internally scattered, or believe that all is permitted, which is very much Thelema or Aleister Crowley's influence, where everything is permitted, nothing is this and that, all is this. So what is it? Is it this or is it that? What I'm trying to say is find order within yourself. Become in control of yourself. Become whole within yourself. That's WHOLE. Whole. Not HOLE, because I see that's what's being presented as well. Holism with an H, which means you're eternally a big black hole or a cup with no cover over it. You are open to shit, which means you have no boundaries within yourself. And you will have this come to you and you will say, take me to your leaders. I am open to you. Guides and whatever and whatever and whatever. This is not a mockery to people who are doing channel work at all. It's got nothing to do with that. It's about setting boundaries in place. If you have no boundaries within yourself, then it means you are consenting to all kinds of things. However, as I said, that this is meant to happen because the human species in itself has to come to a tipping point, where it realizes its own creative potency. But as that happens, what comes in its place when you realize the potency of your creative thinking, your thoughts, your constructive or destructive thinking of thoughts? What plays out for you is customized to you. I was asked a very important question by a friend about how do I explain what are demons, what are aliens, what are archons, is there any relation between these things? And I want to answer in a metaphysical way, because that is what this channel is about. Demons, aliens, archons, these things are all the same in essence. I'm lumping aliens with it. The ideology of an alien, the word alien itself, not extraterrestrial beings that live outside of your realm. I'm not talking about that, because there are many people that are existing in this world that are perhaps not of this world. Actually, in actual fact, I think most humans are not of this world anyway, but that's my personal opinion. What I'm trying to say is, just look at how it is being presented. There's a lot of weaponizing in terms of these terms for you to buy into. Remember, it's about business. Business that requires a quota or percentage of your soul or you to give consent to it. Can many of these things be proven? Not really. Have there been material posted around for you to believe that they can actually exist? No, not really. Does it make you feel better at the end of the day? Has it helped you in any way? Has it enriched your life in any particular way? I wouldn't say so. Personally, I wouldn't say so. All that I have found from personal experience is personal experience. And I'm not trying to sell my personal experience to you either. What I'm trying to explain is be mindful that mostly all of these things are really all, if I could make it simple to understand, customized for you. If you have or had a very strong religious upbringing as a child, be mindful that whatever is present in its essence, be it in psycho-spirited presence, which means in ghost form or in spirit form, will present itself as a thing that is strongly founded in your previous religious beliefs. So demons then, since religion has made it quite clear that demons, used to exist. And if you've believed in things like, for example, New Age stuff, where, many aliens have been around and they talk with you and all of that stuff, then you'll have present. You'll have an alien experience. And if you really don't know where you stand with any of that, then I would say all of it, as I've said before, and I will say it again, the system is predominantly based on a very strong form of Gnostic beliefs, Gnosticism. And then the term archonology, archons, as I've made in that previous video, archonology, go through it. I literally took a lot of energy to put it together for you to understand my process through it. And it was a different video other than the usual videos that I would make. An archon is something that takes control, or that is an archetype of the con of light. I'm breaking it down into that explanation. The realm is layered. It has multi-tiered, multi-layered systems in it. How does this involve the original creator? It involves the original creator, and it also does not. Wherever mankind and man's creation is driving itself to want to become a god in itself, that is a flaw of an idealistic belief, of an narcissist. And if you think that you can become a god, then you are part of the system and its illness. So what I'm seeing is a great purge that is taking place. Things need to heal. And so what it would do is go through massive detoxing. Consider the system as detoxing itself of flawed nonsense, nonsensical shit that doesn't add to your life in any way. Is there imminent danger? There's imminent danger every moment of your existence. If you get off of your bed, you can trip and fall and break your neck. You can choke on something and not breathe again. So the belief of imminent danger, or the belief that there's this day, like Judgment Day, or like Skynet has come online day, has happened the day that internet came on. And it's always been there. And trust me when I tell you, the internet will not die, because it's part of the communication web. They need it and we need it. And if you can, go to talk to a person physically, or talk to them on the phone, whatever. I'm saying simply communicate with people, humans. because that's important. And thank you everyone for being here with me and for supporting me and for liking and sharing and subscribing to my channel. And please do so. I appreciate it. My thanks and my love to you. Bye.